Let's talk about rewards in Secrets of the Obscure Guild Wars 2 expansion. And there's actually a lot to talk about here. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to rewards. They are taking some really interesting directions here. Very pleasing directions, in my opinion. Not only, directing players, but also, and this is very exciting, ArenaNet are moving away from kind of cramming everything into the gem store. It really looks like they're giving users a little bit more flexibility and kind of trusting that if players are enjoying the game and getting rewards and getting loot, they'll be more inclined to actually spend a little bit of money. And we'll get into that right now. And I love that because I'm a big in-game loot enjoyer, in-game, farming, item acquisition fan. And there's actually some really cool stuff here that actually makes me very happy with the overall design of the reward structure in the game. I've actually found myself to be very disengaged with the reward structure in Guild Wars 2 because, again, so much of it is in the cash shop. And even though you can buy it with gems, it's just like, well, I just don't care about it. I only care about it if you can loot it in the game, right? You kill a dragon and get the item. That's what I'm about, guys. Kill a raid boss, get a skin. Kill a fractal boss, get an infusion. Whatever. That's what I like, and we're kind of going in that direction a little bit more. And first up is going to be the Wizard's Vault. And this is interesting. Something like this might sound a little bit spooky if you read it in isolation, but I actually think this is an incredibly positive system. So, your journeys in the expansion will bring you face-to-face with the Wizard's Court. There's something I can't help but laugh whenever I read Wizard. I can't believe it's a Wizard expansion, man. Because all of the in-jokes that we have in the community about, oh yeah, I main Fire Wizard, right? Or Dirt Wizard, or Mud Wizard, right? It's just... I just find the word a little bit funny now, to be honest, right? Like... a group of powerful magic users who live high in the skies above Tyria. For over a millennium, the Wizard's Court has amassed a large trove of riches and curiosities in their private vault, nestled safely in their mysterious floating tower. Ooh. Now relieved from their long isolation, the wizards are hungry for knowledge of the world. They've dedicated themselves to protecting and are willing to share some of their bounty with you in exchange for a favor or two. So, basically, what is it? Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's basically a battle pass, but... everything about a battle pass that is horrible and just putrid and is a sign of the end times in the gaming industry doesn't exist. And this is why I have to say I am a bit of an ArenaNet simp, right? Because they have a tendency to look at other games and go, that system is kind of cool. It has some upsides to it. It directs players. It gives players a goal to work towards. You get rewards, right? It's a good way to get the players to engage with various different parts of the game, right? All that kind of good stuff, right? You drive engagement. That's a good idea. But then they go, well, why are you paying for it? Why don't you pick what rewards you want instead of having to buy it and get like a bunch of junk that you don't care about and having to go through it in a linear order, right? Why is there like a way to pay to progress or a premium, track or whatever? Any of this garbage. And ArenaNet do tend to remove all of that trash from it. And that's exactly what they've done here. It combines the best elements of daily login and daily achievement systems, allowing you to play Guild Wars 2 the way you want, whether it's PvE, player versus player, world versus, or a mix, and a wide variety of exciting rewards for doing so. Now, we don't know exactly how they're implementing this, but this is really interesting. It seems that they're going to consolidate down a lot of dailies. I kind of have a suspicion that they're going to remove all dailies except these. It's going to be this. And daily login rewards are probably gone too. RIP anyone who was farming alt accounts. Sorry, guys. You're going to have to actually play the game now. So watch out for that. But I think they're actually going to trim away at it. They'll probably leave stuff like the Living World Season 4 dailies. Because, again, this is going to be a system for the expansion, I believe. Because I don't think they're going to be giving this, to free-to-play players or players who don't have the expansion. Let's see if they actually mention that here. Did they actually say this? With the release of Guild Wars 2 Secrets of the Obscure, you'll receive new objectives to complete daily, weekly, and with each quarterly release. As you complete objectives, you'll earn Astral Acclaim, a new account-wide currency, which can be exchanged for rewards of your choosing, such as new weapons and armor skins. A small selection of items previously exclusive to the Gem Store, craft materials, gold, mystic coins, legendary crafting starter kits, and more. Those rewards will refresh on a quarterly basis, but fear not, as new items cycle in. Any exclusive items will move into Legacy. So again, you're not going to get gate kept out of them. You'll be able to get in there. You can still play normally. No problem. Oh, actually, duh. Yeah, I think they are going to trim everything down then. Some Wizard Vaults, so some of them, not all of them. So not all the rewards and not all of the tasks are exclusive. However, all accounts of the level 80 character will have access to the feature. And yeah, that really suggests that they're going to, like, really compress the system down, which is actually really nice. Really, really nice, actually. Because one thing, I mean, what? Okay, look, I just flailed around wildly just thinking about this. Look at this. Look at it. Just look at all these dailies. Look at them. They're everywhere, right? It's insane. There's so many of them, right? That you can do. There's a ridiculous horde of them. And I think they'll probably compress all of that down and make it much more streamlined. And again, use it as a way to direct players to different areas of the game and kind of get them to engage in different content and kind of give that guidance to new players, which I think is very much lacking. And I think this is like a really good usage of essentially this Battle Pass-esque system, because players often say, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Well, now the game is going to tell you. You don't have to watch my YouTube video anymore on what you should do in Guild Wars 2. The game will tell you. So I'm out of a job here. A bit unlucky, but oh well, that's how it goes. Our goal for the Wizards Vault is rewards are meant to be attainable through regular normal play. There are no paid upgrades, no skips, and the Legacy section exists, so to take the pressure off, so there's no FOMO. So, oh my god, guys, it's the Battle Pass with no horrible monetization. You can get whatever you want. There's no FOMO, and you don't have to grind a million years because they're not incentivized to make it putrid because they're not directly monetizing it, right? They're making money because they trust that if you play the game, you'll enjoy it and then you'll spend money. And honestly, I like that because, to be clear, there's something going on there. And the fact that ArenaNet are giving you a free mount skin that you can get in the game, and there's also another one for completing the Skyscale collection in the new expansion, what are they saying there? They're saying they're confident, right? ArenaNet are saying, you know what, yeah, we can do that. We can give you a mount skin. We can do that. Yeah. We're confident that you like the game. We're confident that you are going to play and want to spend a little bit of money, right? And you're going to keep playing and you're going to keep coming back. And I like that. That is good. That really speaks to how they're feeling at the studio and how perhaps, the developers are actually feeling about the game right now and what's going to be coming. Which I think you really do love to see that. You really, really do. And oh man, I think another reason why they're feeling confident is because of this. That's right. We talked about this in one of the other videos a little bit already. But yeah, this is really cool. Legendary armor, medium armor with no trench coat, no butt cape on light as well, and some pretty badass, like, standard heavy plate armor as well. And it is legendary from open world gameplay. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I think it's appropriate. This is actually one of the things that I predicted, right? I saw this coming a mile off because legendary armor is weird. The fact that you have to raid to get it or you have to play PvP or World of Sword is super unusual because those are all kind of like niche activities in a way outside of arguably World of Sword is pretty World of Sword is pretty standard, but PvP and raids definitely more niche activities. But now legendary armor is coming to open world. And it's not actually on launch, but, okay, you can actually start working on it. They've actually already given us a little bit of details, and this is very clever by ArenaNet. They want you to have something to do on launch while they're working on legendary armor. You have to actually unlock the other armor sets. They're adding these Rift Hunter armor set and Astral Ward. Right, there are these two armor sets. You have to get both of those through a collection in order to get the legendary armor. So you'll already be able to start working on getting the materials, probably. You'll be able to start working on doing some of these collections. So when it actually drops, you can be kind of anticipating it, getting ready, and then you can unlock your legendary armor. And again, it's all from open world gameplay. Very, very, very cool stuff there, actually. Okay, that's incredible. And yeah, you can already, you can obviously start grinding out your masteries, right? All of that kind of good stuff. And yeah, there'll be plenty of other rewards getting out there. And also, one thing that is cool, we've seen them do this a few times with some of the weapons in other maps, like Bureau Marches with the Boreal weapons. I do like upgradable appearances, and we are doing that as well. They have a few armor sets like this too. Upgradable appearances on weapons, which I think is actually pretty damn cool. So it looks like there's going to be a good chunk of stuff to go around and collect and unlock on launch. There is one thing that I will say that is potentially an issue here. And that is that raids are already in trouble, and one of the really big reasons for players to get into raids is to get legendary armor. That incentive, essentially, is disappearing with this. And I think that does mean that ArenaNet may want to think about ways to make raids a little bit more attractive to the player base, because they're already not that popular. And to be frank, that might not even have anything to do with the actual raids itself, right? So, for example, you might end up just making them more accessible, right? Like making it easier, like adding some kind of difficulty scaling, like adding maybe a little bit more gold, a little bit more juice, making a daily raid so people can kind of get in there and everyone surges towards it, improving the LFG, improving the squad system to help the popularity of raids. Because I do think, I think this will have a negative impact on the raid population. And to be frank, maybe even in the PvP and World vs. World population as well, because I think a lot of players are reward-oriented and very naturally gravitate to PvP and World vs. World and raids to try and get their legendary armor. With that taken away, that's a very major incentive that users actually will no longer necessarily need to do, because they'll be able to get this armor quite easily in the open world without having to engage in content that they maybe don't really, they maybe don't exactly want to, which is kind of weird. It's always this weird thing in games, right? It's like, well, maybe that's good. Maybe they shouldn't be playing if they don't like it. But on the other hand, it's like, I think a lot of players go, man, I don't really want to raid, but I want legendary armor. Then they try it and they really like it, right? This is why they make you do the gift of battle in World versus World, basically, to make a legendary. Because it turns out that, a lot of players go like, oh man, I want to get a legendary, but, World versus World, I'm not really sure about it. And they try it and then they love it, right? And they get into the game mode. It's the reason why you have this kind of cross-pollination effect in the game design systems is because they want you to try it, right? Because that's often the first barrier in a player actually really enjoying something, is taking that first step, right? And I think that's a very common experience that we've all had, is that the first time you do something, it's like, oh man, I'm not sure about this. I don't know if I like it. I don't know. And then you go, oh yeah, actually, this is pretty good, right? This is pretty fun, right? It's quite enjoyable. But the downside is that obviously some people hate every single second of it, right? But, you win some, you lose some, guys, okay? You win some, you lose some. Fantastic stuff. You love to see it. But yeah, that's basically all of it covered for the rewards. And I had to say the really big takeaway for me is this big new kind of battle pass style system here being added with the Wizard's Vault. I do like that it's actually available for core players as well. That, again, gives them some direction, some objectives to do. And I'm really excited to see how aggressively they rotate it. I really love the idea that it might just randomly send you to Ore, and you've got to do loads of the temple events, right? And then all of a sudden Ore is popping off, because I'm reminded here of the boss rush events where you had to do core world bosses. It was so active and so excited to be zerging around with everyone, blasting these enemies to get these little bonus chests and so on, right? And complete the reward effort. I'd always like to see them do this as well. Have, those community events they had that, everyone had to contribute to and fill up to get bonus rewards for the entire player base. I think stuff like that, these little events that kind of move players around, was really exciting. I find it very reminiscent, actually, of an old system. So in the game right now, and this used to be very popular, this kind of got power crept, but some of you may be aware of the system, but honestly, I guarantee you that most players probably have no idea the system even exists. Map bonuses. So look at this. If we look at Frostgorge Sound, it says Shiny Bauble, Pile of Violescence, Pile of Putrescence, Silk Trap, and Gossamer Scrap. So basically, once you do a bunch of events on this map, it will juice you up with a bonus reward for completing a map there. And back in the olden days, guys, you would, because these rotate, right? These actually rotate around. Back in the olden days, everyone would always go to the super lucrative maps because they give you loads of tier 6. In particular, Vials of Powerful Blood were amazing. So whenever Frostgorge Sound was Powerful Blood, everyone would go and farm it, right? Everyone would just go for that. We kind of saw that with the Bauble farm a little bit in Verdant Brink, although maybe that wasn't that healthy. But yeah, this is actually a pretty cool system. And again, it's not really relevant now, and that's simply because it's been out power crept. It's not that rewarding compared to modern farming. But I think a system like this, or basically an updated version of this that kind of moves players around the world, even to old living world maps and so on, could actually be extremely cool and really keep the game fresh, right? Do we really want to be grinding the same metas every single day, right? Because they're the best gold per hour? No. And I think a really good way to do that is simply make different maps uber rewarding by rotating stuff around. I think that's really cool because obviously, unless they do that, unless there's some kind of rotation, then players are going to gravitate to the highest gold per hour activities, the highest gold per hour maps, which, to be frank, isn't that much fun, right? It eventually gets very, very stale, very, very boring, and of course, it leaves some areas of the world potentially underpopulated. The event system, like the meta event timers, work quite well to kind of alleviate that, but I think this system can do an even better job of it, which is actually pretty cool. And yeah, in general, the death of the daily login rewards things, you know what, guys? It's a bit unlucky. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to raise all my money for tournaments these days, because that's basically how I fund tournaments, is using alt accounts, using login rewards. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and say it, guys. Daily login rewards was stupid, okay? And being able to abuse alt accounts in the way that you can is honestly insane, right? It's not good. It's very, very bad. Like, and there was a recent thing about this, actually. Like, and ArenaNet has kind of taken steps to prevent this from happening. But I don't know if you guys remember the heroic codes, where they gave away like 10,000 heroic codes. This went exactly as you'd expected, because those codes, they actually do give you the daily login rewards. So do you know what happened? They all got claimed and then sold on G2A for 30 cents each. And I actually know a few players who bought up thousands of these accounts and log into them every day for thousands of gold. Unbelievable. Absolutely insane, guys. Absolutely ridiculous what happened there. Funnily enough, those accounts, the people who kind of really broke the spirit of this, those accounts actually are gone now. That's something that I heard. That's kind of why Mystic Coins went up, as my understanding, actually. But yeah, because of course that's very much kind of against the spirit of a promotion like that, to kind of abuse it in such a heinous way. How could you do that? How could you do that? But yeah, this will probably affect the economy a little bit. We don't know how hard they're going to go on Mystic Coins, so it's a little bit volatile right now with, are Mystic Coins going to go up? Are they going to go down? Are Legendaries going to get really expensive? We don't know. I imagine they'll probably make the system very rewarding, because it seems like they really want players to engage in this, right? And really kind of get in there and get some stuff done. Particularly seeing as, again, it's going to be gemstore items, guys, so a lot of players are going to zerg this, but you can pick whatever you want. So ultimately, player choice will impact this. You can pick any reward that you actually want there as well, including some of the exclusive stuff there as well. Very exciting, man. I can't wait to see what's in there. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of stuff, a huge amount of stuff in there. Fantastic stuff. You love to see it. So plenty to chase after there in Guild Wars 2. Secrets of the Obscure. Incredible stuff. Incredible gaming. Like, there's a lot of stuff here that's good. Still a big fan of the transparency. But that is it for the rewards section, the deep dive into rewards. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think, gamers. Very important. Share your thoughts, okay? You know, you might as well, scream them into the void, okay? Tell me how much you enjoy me reading these notes for you, okay? You have a wide variety of options. Okay, and subscribe, yes. Definitely do that. And buy the game with a referral link.